coming here, so she brings in this particular encounter some renewed energy and determination and confidence as well.
Absolutely, and you can tell she's quickly, obviously itching just to find herself
on the score sheet, right?
Absolutely. I mean, she's done quite well in the previous sessions. She's been called to the national team, and she's got the height in that box to really get it work the business on, for the Copper Queens.
Corner comes in. It's not well taken. It's another effort to push it into the penalty area, but the flag had gone up, and Banda at the age of grabbing the third for herself. It was an effort that was coming from the ever impressive Lungu on that occasion. In fact, it was one that came from the corner first of all. Then there was this header, Dube.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell that cross coming through from Tembo into the box, and Barbara just slight inches off in terms of being offside. It was just being cut off at that particular moment, but you can tell how quick Tembo was to just get the ball into the box.
There's a corner taken by Everine Katongo. That poorly defended ball did provide an opportunity for Zambia to make it 5. Kundananji's trying to find bandits interesting and very pleasing for the Copper Queens faithfuls with regards to how the partnership between Barbara Banda and Kundananji is working out. It's one partnership which obviously, if it ticks, Zambia ticks.
Absolutely.
Just about to hit the hour mark, and that is the earlier challenge earlier on. It was some desperate defensive play from the Copper Queens defender in Mwemba. Now it's the skip of the side for Angola, Margareta Salvador, who is having to nurse some injury. That's some injury scare that will go a long way in inviting worry for Angola and the faithfuls, who know very too well that their team is desperately searching for some fortunes here. They trail Zambia by 4-0 at their own backyard. Free kick to Angola. Just gone past the hour mark, and it's still the visitors who are leading by 4-0 here. Corner, beg pardon, set piece taken. So on the out of Halain. Kundananji is going the other way now. Still searching for company. Just looking for Irene Lungu on that occasion, but could not locate her because there was an Angolan player who intercepted on that occasion. Still Angola trying to find the way of cracking this Copper Queens, who have come here to do their business. Skip of the side is on her way. Kundananji is venturing into the penalty area. Banda! Brave goalkeeping from the Angolan goalkeeper there. Banda knows very too well. Should have been on the score sheet once again, but could not get the right tactic on that occasion and unable to make it count. Good defensive play from the goalkeeper in Terazo Evaristo. Zambia won't stop wanting to score. Their desire to score extremely tremendous here. The pass was rather overcooked by Katongo. Angola will still continue to hope that they can do the magic here. They will continue to believe that they can at least try and push the envelope here. They're venturing forward, and they seem to be having some space on that flank. Aminda Lopez is always venturing forward and giving some problems to the defensive department of the Copa Queens from that side of the pitch. Just can't knit the passes together, the home side here. Mwemba on the score sheet scored for Zambia in the 40th minute. Remember that there was a disallowed goal by Kundananji. Could have been worse for Angola, but now things could worse because Kundananji is venturing into the penalty area, puts in a cross for Banda to make it 5. Kundananji and Banda are bringing Angola down here. Never mind BB11, she is Heaven 11. Excellent play from Kundananji. The run was simply top notch, second to none. Excellent stuff, and the fans here can celebrate because their team is not playing. It was that run by Kundananji that was the difference, really, beating a marker. She was venturing forward, and look at the run by Banda. She knows very too well there's some traffic in the 6-yard, waits for the ball to be delivered, and the skip of the side makes no mistake. Good run from Kundananji. Oh, she's such a prolific partner to Banda. Whipping one into the penalty area, and it's almost a case of rest in peace, Angola. Goal kick to the visitors here who are feeling very, very at home here. There was talk about the need for the Copa Queens to agglutinate ambition and performance. They've done that very, very well this evening here. Scoring 5 away from home, something they've not done in a long time, the Copa Queens. In fact, the last time it happened, well, it wasn't a 5-0 victory, it was a 5-1 victory in the COSAFA tournament on the 10th of October 2023 when they scored 5 and only allowed 1 at the expense of Comoros during the COSAFA. Before that, the last time they did record a 5, well, the last time that one was able to use 5-0 in the same sentence with the Copa Queens was at the World Cup when the Copa Queens went down at the hands of Spain 5-0. That was after going down at the hands of Japan by 5-0. But now they're doing what Japan and Spain did to them at the World Cup, beg your pardon. It's the home side make some very desperate changes here to make it count. Salvador will make way and keep our fingers crossed that the rest of the team will do the magic on the pitch. And they need the magic, to be honest, because they're down by 5-0. They need to score 5 goals and hope for 1 more for them to be able to bag 3 maximum points. Francisco Gaspar is coming to reinforce the team and now gets the armband to offer some inspiration to the home side here. It's Banda. Banda once again. That would be a free kick plays. Referee plays waves play on rather. Angola trying to attack, but dispossessed because Tembo was in between the pass and the ball. Miguel Simao knows very too well that the fortunes have indeed eluded the home side here. We're trailing by 5-0. This is Banda. Finds another Banda. Kundananji is in the penalty area, but she cannot make the most out of it. Banda will try and repossess and recycle. Kundananji was inches away from meeting it. Banda! You get the feeling it will be worse this evening for the home side unless they pull up their socks, because Banda and Kundananji have been licensed to roam around the penalty area. Kundananji wins the throw in for the visitors. Banda is just a few meters away from Kundananji. Always in hand to ensure that the partnership between the two players is ticking, as Coach Bruce Mope thinks that now is the time to make some changes. Angola now going the other way, trying to conjure up something that will see them get some consolation at least, which will go a long way in giving them motivation to ascend this very huge mountain they find themselves behind. There's some confidence oozing in the defense department of the Copper Queens, and you can see that Pauline Zulu is bubbling with confidence. That's Banda who's been making the midfield tick. That's Banda. Zambia is dispossessed. Only for a moment, because now they've won back possession. Zulu. Love the confidence from the last. Kundananji is on the ball. She looks for Banda. Now she finds Banda, who unleashes, but that ball was ever rising. It was Tembo who was first to get on that attack swing and found Kundananji, who was looking for Banda. There was a slight deflection, but that pass got to Banda, and Banda unable to make it count. But now Bruce Mope about to make the change. Namasiku Longo is going to come in, and we'll see the introduction as well of Esther Simfuko there, leaving space, and in comes as well Leticia Lungu. Banda Susan has had a very, very good game. Was commanding play in the midfield and making the midfield tick. And you know what happens when the midfield is ticking? It means that Banda and Kundananji tick. Irene Lungu will be rested. Her job has been done already here. Making another change, and coming in now is Rachel Nachula. She too can be a nuisance against defenders unless they bring in their A game. But Justin, what a game here that the Copper Queens have had here. It's tempting for the faithfuls to conclude that it's almost job done here in Luanda.
Well, I definitely believe that the job is done, Brian. I mean, 5 goals black. It's certainly job done, and you can tell from the technical bench all the changes they're making. I mean, Esther Tembo getting some game time now, and obviously, as you can see, the whole lot of those, Rachel Nachula getting some game time as well. So you expect Ava Chitundu and everything, all the players to really get themselves a little bit some running, just to ensure that they have a feel of how the pitch is and everything else, just to prepare them psychologically also of the return leg. And it's more, I think it's more of preparing for the return leg than anything else.
That was quite some very good defensive play from Tembo, but referee thinks that she did that at the negligence of the rules of the beautiful game.
I mean, she's a non-nonsense defender, you can tell. I mean, no wonder she's been yellow carded at that particular moment. If you look at that, I think she went in hard. She missed the ball completely. She missed the ball completely there, Tembo. And maybe this also, Brian, will sort of just give an opportunity for the Copper Queens defense to be tested. But you can tell, obviously, a whole lot of players just are dropping down to provide cover as well.
Set piece for the home side here. Manuela Simao to take this set piece, and Catherine Musonda will try and organize the defense because she knows very too well a clean sheet is good for her credentials here. Simao whips one into the penalty area. Zambia struggling to defend, but now they manage to clear with Kundananji. Chitundu finds Nachula, but fails to keep the ball in play. Zambia scoring the 3 goals in the first half in a space of 4 minutes. Quite a record for the Copper Queens, who are making a statement here with regards to what they intend to do. Kundananji looking for Bande. Well, you'd have loved Kundananji to hit the ball first time on that occasion, but she thought that it would have been wise for her to link up with the skip of the side.
Well, you could tell that the dummy was quite something that they were hoping it could work to their favor.
Oh, Musonda there finding herself in a very precarious position. This is Mwemba.
If you look at that, obviously just the cross coming through.
This could be dangerous for Zambia. Oh, Musonda, world-class goalkeeping.
Call that on any given day, Brand. It's a top draw saver on the part of Catherine. Probably the only time that they've come close. Look at that cross coming through from Simao. She's a menace in terms of ball delivery, but obviously just being cut out by Catherine there. What a cross. She's got the stature, and look at that hand, just cutting off the supply. There were quality of players in that particular box that were hoping just to arrive at the time. Mukua Christina was one of those players in that box.
The creator was once again on the ball. Chitundu loses sight of the ball, but Angola still struggling to clear their lines here.
Well, you could tell the chemistry, obviously, between Avo Chitundu and Kundananji at that particular moment. And I think Chitundu just lost sight of the ball, but was a clever move by the two players up front. They're combining quite well, between the two of themselves up front. And Chitundu just bringing in a whole lot of pace in that front line.
Oh, there's a player down for Angola.
Oh, that's Simao.
Simao, she's been the busy player for Angola and has shown some character in this in the midst of adversary in terms of the home side, who are trailing by 5-0 here.
Well, she's very clever. She's got clever feet on the ball. This is what happened in it on. Look at Simao with this particular cross. This was a sweet delivery. Look at the cut into the box, and I think it was a trailing foot of that just sort of just hit her. I don't think it was at this particular moment when that injury took place. Should have been way after that particular moment, but that was a good delivery by Simao.
If you're searching for, if you're looking for a clean sheet for the Copper Queens, you have to look back as the 5th of October, when the Zambia women's team drew with Angola 0-0 in that COSAFA encounter. That was the last time Zambia kept a clean sheet. Thereafter, they did concede in the game up against Angola, the same team they're playing this evening here. In the COSAFA, they did concede a goal when they managed to record a 3-1 victory.
Well, you could say that they had a successful outing as far as the COSAFA was concerned, despite that loss to Malawi in the final. Very, very difficult final it was for the Copper Queens. I think they were tested really heavily at that particular moment.
Well, in fact, the last time they did have a clean sheet, the Copper Queens was, beg your pardon, on the 13th of October, when they did beat Zimbabwe by a 0-0. They edged Zimbabwe by a 0-0. That was the last time that they had a clean sheet, the Copper Queens. But this would be a very sweet clean sheet, I can imagine.
You could tell that they're still not very convincing Zambia in terms of how they're defending the Copper Queens, but when it comes in terms of that, their attacking prowess, oh boy, they definitely just they're putting everything under wraps, and it's all looking really good on the final third of attack. She's got the pace of Chitundu.
Yeah, there was lots of talk when once upon a time she was left out of the squad because many of the faithfuls thought she had the talent, the legs that did call for her deserving a call to the team. The coach Bruce Mwape and the rest of the Tenko bench came under heavy criticism back home. Then again, they were praised when they did include her in the team. And Angola once again making a change. Desperate moments for the visitors here, Dube.
Absolutely, and I think it's all about now improving their play. I think they'll try by all means to add a bit of some firepower. That's Rosa coming in. There's no attacking player up front. I think the technical bench is still convinced, especially with the few times that the Angolans have tried to attack Zambia, has not really convinced as far as the final third. Their defense lines are concerned, and you'd think that maybe with a bit of some energy, somebody with fresh legs, they could be able to take advantage. Even a consolation would be enough for these Angolans who are playing at home.
To be honest, is going to call for tremendous grit for the home side here to get back in this encounter and eventually win it.
That's a lot to ask.
Absolutely, to be honest. But modern football as we know it is no respecter of impossibilities. Long searching ball, that's a very delightful pass. Cross comes in, not the best of crosses that came into the penalty area on that occasion. Scramble for the ball. Eventually the Copper Queens win possession. Free kick in a very good space for the Copper Queens, and it's getting nasty for the home side here.
Well, Lando just being caught up yet again in the mix. Shed number 4. She's really been involved in a whole lot of defense moves.
Well, that was some dangerous play, and
yeah, Lando.
Right call by the referee.
She's very pushy though, very pushy, and you can tell, you know, one of those players that are really difficult to mark.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a whole lot of a little mini meeting there on who is likely to take that, because at that position, any of those key Zambian upfront players, Barbara Banda, they could still take that. Especially if you look at how disadvantaged the Angolans are in terms of height. But you can see Barbara Banda not really interested in that. Kundananji just want to be one of those players that will be able to probably think of taking this one. And I think it's just all about now, I should be on the score sheet as well.
Yeah.
See how difficult it is to defend from there. It's basically just Route 1 football. Pick the top corner, it counts.
She's made it count in terms of the assists she provided this evening. Can she make it count now? Kundananji. Oh, not so far from the goal mouth. Just looking for the best of the goal mouth, Kundananji.
Absolutely, you can tell what she was looking for. It was all about placement. There was not so much firepower behind that ball, and I think if it had taken just a little bit of a power and a bit of precision on it and height, it could have gone for the top corner.
Well, she was looking for that all-important Kela. It never came to the fore. Kundananji.
You're gonna love how Martha Tembo is applying herself today.
Having quite a shift, Tembo.
She's a workaholic. I think on any given match you can tell.
Banda is also in a fine form, as the Angolan player does seem to deal with some extreme pain here.
Wow. Seems to be
Da Costa
Gilhamina. She's been a menace as well in terms of defending. She's really been pulling all strings. wonder what happened here, because it looks like Barbara Banda they didn't have contact. I think it was a matter of how she landed.
Yeah.
And obviously Barbara Banda, she has the pace, and you can tell already protecting herself by simply skipping out that challenge. It's going to be bad for the Angolans if she will not be able to make it, because she was one of those key players that was very instrumental in providing cover at the back.
Zulu will make way. In fact, Zulu will come in, beg your pardon, and it will be Katongo who's going to allow the experienced last to come in, Misozi Zulu, to come and make things happen. It's really about trying to find ways of trying to put this game to bed. It's already, arguably, the game is already.
It's gone to bed.
It's gone to bed already.
I think it's either about getting a consolation, or indeed just Zambia adding one more.
Then comes the temptation. You want to think, do that in the return leg. What do you do as Zambia? Do you put in your players, your fringe players, if you like? Do you play your team B, or do you play your team A, because you've already put the game to bed, so to speak? What do you do?
If they can score 7 goals, I think you still apply caution. Probably the first 45 minutes, players though you're still 0-0. Second 45 minutes, and then you can change and still make your core team like the technical benches made changes, because I think the core of the team is still in there. Except for the likes of Everine Katongo, who've obviously done their shift. She really handled that midfield quite well.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those games where the technical bench will just try and just keep the core of the team, make the changes, and just try and enjoy the game. And remember, they're playing at the Levi Mwanawasa. This is a place that they have not played a game before, so it's all about also entertaining the fans and just ensuring that the fans, it's worthwhile for that money that they'll be able to pay for.
Tembo whips one into the penalty area. It lands very kindly for Banda. Now Kundananji, she's in the penalty area. She's ventured forward, but unable to make it count. Kundananji. Oh, she's in fine form, isn't she?
Absolutely. I mean, you can tell from what that means. She's desperately hoping that she could get herself, on the score sheet tonight.
Zulu with a first touch, winning back possession and trying to command the midfield. Zulu. Nachula has the body, has the pace, has the ball now. Kundananji scoring for the ball in the penalty area. Kundananji on the ball! Oh, this is getting insane. This is madness. Crazy, crazy Copa Queens. Kundananji finally makes it count. She was knocking, she was the provider. Now she's the scorer. And keeps company with Banda on the score sheet and now on the dance floor.
Absolutely. What an incredible goal. What an incredible build-up as well to the goal. And you expected that. You could tell how desperate she was to find herself on the score sheet. And it looked like it was too much of a long ball when it was released by Misozi. And look at what Zulu did. Just the pace and hoping to just cut into the box, and Kundananji right in space, unmarked. And you can't give her such kind of space there. You definitely can't do that. Nachula is just being incredible with the pace. You think that there was too much pace with that ball off Zulu earlier on, but not. She kept the pace and she kept the chase. I think has made it count.
Yeah, I think it was Nachula.
Nachula, yes, with the final chase
across. Yeah,
yeah,
and she's on it again, but now unable to find the ball. Nachula. Nothing Okuchula about that moment.
Absolutely.
To be honest. Chitundu on the ball. Nachula.
Well, I think the Angolans now is to just be, if anything, it's a matter of just keeping a decent score line, because if you look at those numbers in there, well, there's a whole lot of pressure indeed, but you expect a whole lot of moves there. And but for Barbara Banda though, this is really good for her in terms of just keeping the numbers in terms of goals for the national team, as well as the cups as well.
Zulu dispossesses.
I think we haven't seen Nachula in a long while, you know, and so just to see how they're combining quite well up front in the final third, despite the changes being made, you can count yourself like as a technical bench that you've got the power.
This is Zulu. She'll find Nachula. Zulu finds Nachula once again. Nachula's trying to get into the penalty area, but in the process wins a corner kick. But it's quite a game it's been for the Copa Queens. They have really imposed themselves, imposed their authority and their credentials on this particular encounter.
Well, you have to love the impact that Nachula's had into this game since being introduced. She's always in the right spaces, providing the right crosses into the box.
It's going to be another corner for the Copa Queens, and there were worries about how the team lacked depth at the WAFCON, the previous WAFCON, the Copa Queens, and they seem to have depth now, but they still need to get the feeling to try and mend the loopholes in the defense department. Zulu won't try her luck on that occasion, gives away possession. There's no confidence anymore in this home side. Long range effort.
You have to love the confidence in the Copa Queens, but at the same time, they need to be wary on the set pieces. I mean, look at the number of corners they've had and what they've made of all those corners, you know. They really need to improve the uptake of their set pieces and just make them count, because sometimes, you know, set pieces or corners have chances. It's what you make of those corners. Sometimes you don't have this many opportunities, but you could have those corners that could count.
Kundananji on the ball, beats a marker, but there's some touch of grace. Bandes fighting for the ball, but it's going to be a free kick to the home side here.
Oh, definitely. As a technical bench, if you're gonna have such kind of substitutes in your midfield, in your striking force, and they're still making it count, you'd be satisfied and think that you've got the team to compete.
With the Copa Queens and their form, no boundaries, do they?
I know that there could be other people could be arguing in terms of the pedigree of what Angola has done on the African continent in terms of women's football. They'd say maybe not a team to really enjoy such a celebration, but when it counts, you definitely have to celebrate it.
Absolutely, but there'll be talking points around the fact. I mean, the reaction to what you've said, Jube, is the fact that, look, when you are playing a team which is miles away from your testimonial, so to speak, you have
even
to
your
make
ranking globally and obviously within the continent as well.
You must make it count. The results must tell that, look, there was a team which was highly ranked. There was a team that had a better testimonial than the other. And the Copa Queens arguably have shown it in this particular encounter with regards to the quality they've imposed on this encounter, the scoreline itself.
It was going to be a different story if they struggled to get goals in the final third and maybe did not enjoy so much massive possession. It was going to be a different story, but like you say, if you're going to go out there and challenge and get every ball, make the scoreline smile in your favor, then it means then your rankings globally or on a continental level will definitely count for something.
Well, the technical bench have done a very good job, but you want to begin to think that it was a very easy game for them, but there's no easy game in modern football. We've seen miracles happen, we've seen surprises come to fore, we've seen upsets unfolding in front of our eyes, and the faithfuls of the Copa Queens will be very, very happy and grateful to the heavens that there was no such thing happening against them.
Well, I think it will also be interesting how the Copa Queens will take on the return leg of this game. Will there be that complacency in the approach? How much of pressure will they have playing in front of their home fans at the Living Mwanawasha Stadium, much bigger stadium? And this, I think, is also huge in terms of just luring fans to come and be a part of the return leg.
Angola now in search of some consolation at least. Those passes tell the story in terms of the low confidence levels that do characterize the Angolan women's national team here. I mean, you're coming to play in your own venue and you can't impress. What more when you're going to play away and you've got a 5-0 luggage with you?
it's going to be a very difficult mountain to climb for the Angolan side. But I think there'll be more of a challenge to the Zambian technical bench on how they will apply themselves in the return leg. There's a question you asked me on: do you make an overhaul of the team, or you literally take it like any other game? I think you remember that the Copper Queens suffered some sort of fatigue, after they had prepared quite well for the World Cup. When the actual tournament came, players were still tired, and so maybe when some games are done and buried.
Oh, there's a cross, delightful cross. Nachula was lurking on that occasion and hoping to make it count, but she had some company to deal with. Nachula brought in some quality when she came on. This is Chitundu.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Nachula has had a very huge impact in this game. Her body structure would deceive you,
Yeah.
But wait for her to get on with the pace and just spot control and how she will be able to take care of business. Then you realize why she's definitely playing her trade outside the country.
Oh, the football obeys her, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
She always brings it under her spell. But Misozi Zulu has lost the ball in a very, very dangerous position. But Mwemba will come and clean up the mess and invite Banda, who does have the last touch of the ball, because it's Keitans here. Just on your summation of what has just transpired here.
I think it's been a one-way traffic football for the Copper Queens, an easy fixture, and probably one they'll probably not have like they've had one today. An impressive performance. They did put in quite well. I think all your stars